Yesterday, December 7th, in Fishtown, Philadelphia, you had the Fishtown block captain, Kathy Wilson, was beaten to death by the boyfriend of a housekeeper she had known for years, according to the police. Kathy Wilson was 54 years old, was beaten savagely with a wrench, and the couple took off with over $20,000 that she had in her house, said the Philadelphia police captain James Clark. NBCPhiladelphia.com by Karen Razia, Dan Stam, and David Chang are the authors. The former housekeeper, 47-year-old Jane Johnson, and her boyfriend, 50-year-old James Cleaver, showed up at the house on the 1300 block of Earl Street Friday, and Wilson let them in thinking they'd come to clean. Police said police found Wilson's body Monday morning after Johnson walked into the 26th district and asked officers. So Jane Johnson walks into the police station and asks the police officers to check on her friend, Kathy Wilson, after she was with her boyfriend and they beat her with a wrench and they stole the money. Then she goes to the police and she asked the officers to check on her friend, who they had not seen since Friday. When the police arrived at Kathy Wilson's home, they found her inside badly beaten. She was pronounced dead at the scene by medics. Investigators say that Johnson initially implicated Cheever in Wilson's death. So she is blaming him. She walks in, Jane Johnson, and blames James Cheever. After Johnson and Cheever were both taken into custody and questioned, they allegedly admitted their roles in the murder. Captain Clark said Johnson, who knew Wilson for years, was also where she come into some money, was the mastermind. So, Wilson, Johnson. So Jane Johnson was the mastermind, but she was the one that went to the police. Jane Johnson confessed to plotting the robbery. She claimed she wasn't present during her murder. Right. Oh, I just was robbing her, and then I was scared for her, and then I thought maybe she was dead. Maybe they beat her, and she was still living, and she felt bad. I can't make anything of it. Neighbors told NBC 10's Doug Shamel that Wilson was a block captain, a Republican poll worker, and a known in her part of Fishtown. This is horrifying, said Janet Carey, Wilson's neighbor. I've known her for a long time. For something like this to happen to her is unbelievable. Friends told NBC 10 Wilson was known for her sense of humor. We enjoyed working with her, Bill Pomeroy said. She was a fun person. She was funny. She was just crazy, enjoyable. Wilson was hospitalized recently and would not have had the strength to put up much of a fight. According to Clark, initially the couple intended to beat and rob her, adding it escalated. She was beaten repeatedly with the wrench while clumps of her hair were pulled out. Her body was found on the couch. Cheever and Johnson are charged with murder, robbery, and related offenses. Cheever works now and then as a handyman for Wilson. Clark says it's the first time either one of them had been in trouble with the law. So a wrench, they killed her with a wrench. So, no amount of gun control could have prevented this murder, this senseless, insane murder. It was for robbery, it was for money, so it's economic. Right, they saw somebody else had money that they wanted, and so they went ahead and decided to just take it from her. Two people have been charged with murder and a brutal beating, boyfriend and girlfriend. They used the victim, 54-year-old Kathy Wilson. They knew her on a regular basis, and they knew that she had an illness. And Johnson, Jane Johnson, she was the mastermind. They stole 20 to, and so Wilson, Kathy Wilson, had just received an inheritance, and the suspects beat Kathy Wilson to say, where's the location of the money? Where's the money? They knew she had a large amount of money in the house. They got in under the premise of cleaning her house. Once inside, they demanded her money. She had hidden it, and they repeatedly beat her until she told them where it was at. It was really sad and a very, very senseless murder. Police say Johnson's story didn't add up. When she basically told on herself. She told that James Cheever, I planned a robbery, but I didn't know she was dead. And she said, we need to check on my friend. I don't understand what's going through her head. That was her friend. She cared about, that person. And if she's the mastermind, she's not very, smart at it. And James Cheever, I don't know if he was just going along with it. Of course, he should be held to account. It makes me think about the 1-year-old in Oklahoma who got beat up and raped, and the woman had lied to the hospital officials So, she tampered with evidence, given false reports, and I don't know if she's going to get charged with anything. She was covering up the crime. If you're a part of the crime, then you're a part of the crime. And the whole point of doing Daily Bloody News USA is this is what the media does. They care. If it bleeds, it leads. It's the stories that they care about the most. And in terms of policy, what does it change? People do create. There's 300 million of us in America, and so there's endless amount of stories for me to cover. I've just been doing it for one day and already got a dozen stories. So there's something sick in this culture. But R.I.P. Kathy Wilson. Native Americans say that it's up to the survivors to make sure that those who have dearly departed carry on. It's up to the survivors to remember their legacies. And when we say the dead's name, Kathy Wilson, to the earth, they're still alive. So, R.I.P. Kathy Wilson. R.I.P.